Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back here with another cast video.
Mike Tyson, the like and subscribe button.
Well, thanks for that, Mike. Well, happy Sunday. Here we are, just under 11 cents. That's where we've been hanging. I think that's a good spot. We're above that pretty much resistance we've held for 14 months or whatever, or 12 months. So you can see 1.40 exahash. Market dominance up 1.8%, so it's nice to see that keep trending up. Bitcoin's market dominance is holding strong, just under 61. For the fact that lots of altcoins might not be at all-time highs, but they're still up pretty good, and Bitcoin is basically hovering just under 100,000, there's a lot of fear in the market why you see all these Abu Dhabi buying $400 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs, State of Wisconsin Pension Fund or whatever, the State of Wisconsin Fund buying $300 million worth of Bitcoin ETF. So you see that a lot of the big smart money is still investing in crypto. A lot of the retail is stuck in fear right now. So where things are at, it feels like that's looking pretty good. It feels like the top's not in, and we're going to have a good 2025. Igra Labs, who's working on smart contracts, posted this thread. I could put a link in this thread, but rather I could put a link into where someone kind of unwrapped it or whatever they do to get the thread reader, so you can see it all together, where they're talking about their pretty much their layer 2 they want to build, how they can incorporate the Kaspa and have the security and speed of its base layer. Also talking about fast final settlement layer, supporting up to 3,000 transactions per second with sub-second finality. So that's huge. And now let's just see what Grok has to say about that thread. I just plugged it in and had Grok try to summarize it. I'm not sure it's all the way accurate, but they're trying to do plans to introduce an EVM compatible L2 on Kaspa with high transaction throughput, fast finality, MEV resistant, and the sub-second finality is huge. Also being able to work with other things and not just making it Ethereum virtual machine compatible, but also Solana, Bitcoin. So first we plan to build an L2 on top of Kaspa with a canonical bridge between L1 and L2, supporting up to 3,000 transactions per second with a sub-second finality. It'll be EVM compatible, enabling seamless use of existing Ethereum tools. So we'll see how that shakes out. I'll put this in here. You can read it for yourself. I don't want to read through it all, but it's pretty good. And I think I still have to read through it a couple more times to fully try to even understand it, because some of it's a little bit over my head. But it's exciting. I know there's other people, Sparkle Smart Contracts. There's some other people working on some exciting stuff in Kaspa. And every day we're getting closer to the crescendo hard fork and 10 blocks per second. And a lot of people are talking about Doge and Elon Musk and what they're cutting. And they're either mad about it, happy about it, maybe somewhere in between. But it seems like most emotions are glad they're cutting what they're cutting, or there's people completely against it. They seem fairly open. They could be operating without even ever disclosing anything. So that's one option. But, people are arguing over that. But the reality is we spent 1.8 trillion more than we made last year. The U.S. government did, the federal government. And so you can see that it's been 2001 since the last time they had a surplus. So whatever they cut, they need to cut something because they're spending more money. I mean, that'd be like someone making $100,000 a year, but they spend $150,000 every year. You can't sustain that for very long, and we know that. That's why we're invested in Kaspa, Bitcoin, some other digital assets. But you can see that obviously the 2008 financial crisis, COVID, and then it just keeps going higher. So, I mean, right now we're printing more money than we were back in the 2008 financial crisis every year. So that's just the reality, is how long can you keep spending that? And that's where some people that are mad at Elon Musk and Doge, maybe they're cutting the wrong things. I don't know. I don't really care that much about politics. But if you don't think the government should be reducing its spending, you're living in la la land, because it is weakening the dollar and it's making you have less spending power. And so some people just don't get that. You look at the numbers. This isn't an emotional, I'm mad at Elon Musk, I support Elon Musk, I'm happy. This is just literally look at how much overspending the government has every year for the last 24 years and just think, what does that mean? It means you need to spend less money. You can see this chart, which I like to show sometimes, is the U.S. national debt every year since 1790, which is a pretty cool chart to check out. And you can see that obviously since Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, and that was finally off the gold standard in 71ish, then it's really ballooned up, and this is at 35. This is not even up to date all the way because we're up at 36.5 trillion. So you can see that it's starting to get out of control. And they're projecting just the interest alone on the debt's going to be $2 trillion in 2029 with $47 trillion debt. So that's basically it. A lot of people aren't aware of this. They're emotional about what may or may not be getting cut. And the reality is that our national debt's ballooning. They're going to have to print a lot of money, and that's going to devalue your money. A lot of people's wages aren't going to keep up. If you're fortunate enough to be in some assets that are outpacing inflation, you're lucky. And I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to stop it. It feels like that the avalanche might already be going, and it might be too late to stop it. You might be able to have some short-term gains on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somehow they're going to be able to figure out a digital asset reserve that helps them cut that down, but time will tell. But right now, a lot of people aren't aware of the overspending every year, the deficit, and the fact that the government does need to be reduced in size is just common sense. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.